So we've frequently been asked about the SEBI FMC merger, about which all of us have read a lot in the papers in recent times. So what does it mean? Why is it there in the first place? So the SEBI FMC merger actually gives hope to the commodities industry, which has kind of plateaued due to the limited powers of the Forward Markets Commission, which was the erstwhile regulator for the commodities exchange traded business. The history is essentially that it came through with, the idea was through the FSLRC, which is the Financial Sector Legislative Reforms Committee, and then the immediacy, it was actually triggered by the issues or the scam which happened in the National Spot Exchange Limited, the NSCL scam. And because of that, the FMC was essentially came under SEBI, and then now SEBI is directly overseeing and has become the regulator for commodities as well. So SEBI, of course, expectations are very high that SEBI will do with commodities exactly what it did with equities, which over the last 20 years under SEBI has seen a huge amount of growth. That said, it is also worth noting that FMC, with its limited powers, did an outstanding job in building the commodities industry from scratch in 2003 till now. Now, commodities by definition is global. So you have the prices and the item gold, for example, or cotton, if you may, all of them are the same across the globe, unlike equities, which are essentially national. And many of the commodities are important for the survival of nations. So if you are a producer, then you would want the prices to be higher, and if you are a consumer, you would want the prices to be lower. But the difference is that in commodities, sometimes the stakes are so high that a shortage can cause wars, and oversupply can completely demolish economies of entire countries who are dependent on those commodities. India is a large consumer and producer of a whole lot of commodities, and we therefore should be, as being stakeholders, we should be part of the price setting process in them. And that price setting can only come if we have a healthy, transparent market in India for commodities. Now, over the last couple of years, volumes in our electronic commodity markets have actually virtually become half due to the commodities transaction tax and a couple of other related issues which were there. So what is the SEBI FMC merger really expected to do? So I would say it is 4 or 5 things objectively which one can look forward to. So the first one would be the introduction of new participants. So new participants, I mean mutual funds, banks, FIIs. So let me just put that down as new participants. The second thing it is supposed to do, or it is expected to do, or it is hoped that it will add new products. So new products means options, indices, weather futures, things which will help the business do the hedging and the price risk discovery properly. Both of them, and the price discovery properly, both of them will need new products. The third thing is probably the exchanges will be allowed to, they have been now deemed stock exchanges. So the exchanges presumably will be allowed to trade equity at some point. Now it is not clear what the intent is of this, but definitely this is something which is on the cards. And very importantly, we have one problem of Dabba Trading. Dabba Trading is trading where the, it's an informal business, it's not regulated, all the business happens in cash. And SEBI is expected to stop this, just as they had stopped it, which used to happen in equity earlier. Dabba Trading business today is estimated to be about 10 times the exchange traded business. And therefore it is, because it is informal, there are a lot of defaults, and it also is in the informal economy with all the social ills and evils. which come along with it. And finally, I would say that this merger will effectively, because the FMC was a division under the ministry and SEBI is autonomous and will have its own revenue line, and it has already implemented a transaction charge of 20 rupees per crore which goes to SEBI. So you can expect definitely more people, so I'll put that down as human resources, and the use of technology for better governance on this. So objectively, I would say it is these 4 or 5 things which one can look forward to with these changes.